something with all of the knowledge and all of the connections we have and all of the work we've done, and we combine that with cannabis and we help other people have one good day. And that was the premise behind Kitchen Toke. That was the catalyst. And I spent, 20 years in the creative industry and, saving money for, my retirement and whatever I needed. I took that money and I put everything I had into Kitchen Toke because I felt it was important. This was a life-changing, it was a defining moment for me.
Kitchen Toke isn't just a magazine. What would you describe Kitchen Toke as?
Kitchen Toke is the only media company in the world dedicated to culinary cannabis for health and wellness. We often say we're about getting healthy, not just high. We all know you can get high from cannabis. I personally don't like to be high, but I know that if I eat cannabis every day, all day, and in some quantity, I know that I'm feeding my endocannabinoid system and I know that I'm healthier for it. And that's what I want other people to know.
And a lot of people don't understand the whole endocannabinoid system. So when did you start? Have you been taking any follow-up classes, or are you just still doing the same thing that a lot of us are doing, that's self-educating?
I'm self-educating, and I'm one of those people who is smart enough to know that I need to surround myself with people who know more than I do. I love a team environment, and that's where Kitchen Toke comes in handy. It's a natural progression for me. I have a managing editor who reaches out to writers all over the country, specialists, doctors, veterinarians, people who are growers, cultivators, making products, and they are the sources for the material that we provide in Kitchen Toke. We report the facts as we know them and as we know them. And as you well know, those facts change based on the science that we're finding out and the discoveries.
Absolutely. Now, in your efforts to get where's Kitchen Toke at now? How can people get a hold of a copy of it?
Kitchen Toke is printed quarterly. You can get it at kitchentoke.com. We distribute to, and I should say this, before the pandemic, we were distributing to 2,500 stores nationwide in 6 other countries. We can be found in all Barnes & Nobles, Whole Foods stores, Amazon brick and mortar. But post-pandemic or during the pandemic, that shifts and change every quarter. We just put out that fall issues you have in your hands there, and we had to limit some of the print run, especially overseas.
Gotcha. And how are you finding, the general, marketplace? Are they receptive, mainstream, markets are receptive to information on cannabis culinary? Go ahead.
It's interesting because when we first launched Kitchen Toke, 2 months after we launched our very first issue, Barnes & Noble picked it up and put it in every store nationwide. That was a huge plus for us. Although they put it in with next to Playboy and Maxim and things like that, I had to push to get them to put it into the health and wellness section. And I will say, now that we're in a pandemic, in the middle of a health crisis, in the middle of trying to figure out how to pay for our healthcare, people are much more receptive to alternative and integrated medicine.
And how is it doing in like a Barnes & Noble? Is it something that they were finding their customers were gravitating to?
It's doing okay. I think there's still some push to get people to understand why they need it, what it is. A lot of people associate Kitchen Toke with it's just recipes, but I think, as you can see, we dial into a lot of different areas in the magazine. We like to explain what the compounds are. We talk about specific strains, or we'll highlight that. Yes, we have recipes, but we have easy ones. We have difficult ones. We talk about profiles on chefs and personal stories. There's a lot in there.
And then again, in general, I mean, do you get feedback from some of your readers? How are you feeling about the feedback that you get?
People think that it's easy to digest, it's easy to read. We've more than tripled our subscriptions during the pandemic. So I know that people are now understanding more and more I credit the CBD craze, really, because that's got people looking for more information. So yes, the